Morning, everyone. I'm Sandy Coker. Welcome to April's meeting of the EDC. I am the co-chair of this committee. Todd is not available today. We wanted to welcome our newest member of our EDC, Karen Henderson. Karen is the guru of Westborough TV. She, they just do all the great events. And Karen, welcome. Do you want to say a couple words?
Thanks. No, I'm happy to be a part of the group. I'm at Westborough TV, which is in the downtown district. So, and I've always had an interest in what's going on with our town in terms of economic development. And I'm happy to be here. You know, we've done a lot of work at Westborough TV to try to contribute to the business community through the years. Lots and lots of videos. So, so I hope to continue that work, and happy to be here.
Great. Thank you so much. Excellent. Next on the agenda is Polly and Paul from the Westborough Food Pantry. So, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Polly Thayer, and I'm currently a vice president at the Westborough Food Pantry. And I have with me
Paul, I'm the president
of the food pantry. Some of you know, and some of you might not know, that the pantry is located at East Main Street, right across from the Mobil gas station. We have been in existence for 38 years. A lot of people don't realize that. Some of the history, the food pantry was put together when Mary Emily Smith decided to, she said, you know, there's a real need in here. So she said, got one person from each place of worship in town, got them together, and they created the Westborough Food Pantry. Back then it was 30 people. Here's a bag of groceries, be on your way, okay, see you next week. Today, we provide food for over 150 Westborough families. That's over 400 people, 450 people. It's crazy, the number of people that come. We've seen a huge increase since 2023 till now. One thing that's really unique about the pantry is that we're a client choice. In other words, you bring your grocery shopping bag and you get to go into our little mini store and pick and choose what you want. We're not like, okay, here's your bag of groceries and it's got food in it that you don't like, your kids don't like. So what do you do with that? You toss it, or hopefully you gave it to a neighbor, but most of the other food pantries around us are, here's your bag of groceries. But we feel because of self-esteem and just feeling better about yourself, you get to choose. And typically folks walk out of there with 2 to 4 bags of groceries. Depends on their family size. Every single week we have fresh fruits, vegetables, beef, chicken, eggs, and bread. We spend, this number is really astronomical to me, we spend over $1,000 a month just on eggs.
No.
We have no funding from the town, the state, or the federal government. It is all dependent on Westborough donors. So we spend about $6,500 every month when we buy bread, hamburger, chicken, and milk. We're also buying the shelf-stable milk. So that is huge for us. Again, more than 150 families. This has increased to almost 500,000 pounds of food.
In terms of dollars, it would be up close to or over $500,000 distributed.
Again, here's one of the really nice things that we have. We've got 9 commercial freezers and 8 refrigerators. Almost 9. The 9th refrigerator hopefully will come in another month or 2. But again, on the right is a picture of our store. Again, people get to come and choose. When food comes into us, that's donated mostly through the schools, through the grocery stores, whatever. We have to check every single item. It can't be expired, can't be opened. So we check that out. And again, it's 100% volunteers. There are no paid employees. Paul and I we spend at least 40 hours a week on the food pantry, stuff that's going on. But we also have about 80, I think it's 82 volunteers right now, and it takes that many people to keep everything going. We've got somebody that goes picks up the meat. We've got somebody that goes and picks up the bread, and somebody that goes picks up the eggs.
Yep.
Somebody does that.
Amazon brings the milk to us.
Right. We've got a young adult special needs child who comes and vacuums for us every week. It's a volunteer. No one gets paid, which is huge. To participate here, we would love any food drives that any of your companies could do. We would love financial donations also. And we'd love to partner with some of the businesses. We just partnered with Mark's Moving and Storage. Every single month we go to the Worcester County Food Bank, where we get about, not quite 25% of our food, and we pick it up. It's been my husband and I in a pickup truck and SUV, and it's a chore. Mark's Moving and Storage is going to meet me up there at 8 a.m. on our assigned date, help me pack it into one of his trucks and bring it back for me. So that's like huge, huge, huge. So any way that any of you can think of helping us out, we would love it. And, you know, food, we like food and we like money. We'll take either one. Either one. Does anybody have any questions for us?
I do. Polly, do you guys have not a brochure, but some kind of a printout that we can take with us?
I don't
Or not
have
right
one
now, but
with
like-
us, but I can
Okay.
drop some off.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be great. That'd be great, because I'd
Yeah.
love to.
The only requirement to get food in Westborough also is you knock on our door, you come in. Yes, we do need to fill out a form just for the Worcester County Food Bank's purposes, but you just have to be a Westborough resident. And that's the only thing. Governor Baker put into effect during COVID that across Massachusetts, we cannot ask for any financial information. If someone knocks on our door and we say, oh, so, you know, where are you living, what's going on? I live in Auburn. It's like, okay, here's what we call an emergency box of food. Here's the address for Auburn's food pantry. Could you please go there next time? So no one walks away without any food. If they're gonna knock on our door, they need food. So that's how we operate.
Do you have an event coming up?
Yes, we do. On this Saturday, April 6th, we have a food drive that's put on by the ASP Youth Group. It's the Appalachian Service Project Youth Group. And you have to register for that event. You can go onto our website and find that information, or just Google ASP. It's the kids from the Catholic Church and the Methodist Church, and they have to put in service hours in order for them to go on the trip this summer to go to Appalachia to work on houses. So they do a food drive for us. They started doing it during COVID. It's fabulous. You log in, you say, okay, come pick up my food. 9 o'clock Saturday morning, you put your bag of food at the end of your driveway, and they come pick it up and bring it to us. So it's really, really good. The next one that we have coming up is the Postal Service food drive, and that is May 11th. It's a Saturday. And again, the Postal Service workers will put I think it's a blue bag in your mailbox or wherever they leave your mail. The next week, you fill it up and leave it, and they'll bring it to us. So both of those food drives are really important to us. You know, we got a lot of donations during November and December. January, February, March, everybody's still coming to see us, and I'll tell you, our shelves are really bare. So.
I know you partnered with the Westborough Rotary Club with the Farmers Market. Can you talk a little bit about what that partnership looks like?
Yes, we're really excited. So the Farmers Market this year and the food pantry are like right next door. And the Farmers Market closes at 6 o'clock on Thursday nights. We happen to open at 6 o'clock on Thursday nights. So we're hoping that we've got some communication going on between Kristen Bradley, the Farmers Market manager, and our communication person, Ellen Bresniak. And we're saying, even at 6 o'clock, if I have 2 high school kids go around with grocery carts and say to the farmers, hey, do you have any leftovers that you don't want to pack up? We'll take it, put it right, and it'll be gone in 2 hours. So we're doing that. We're doing a couple other things with Venmo and SNAP benefits and that kind of thing. So we're really working closely with the farmers market. Again, the location is ideal. The fact that you'll be taking SNAP benefits is ideal for our clients too. So that's really going to work out. The other one thing that we do that a lot of folks don't realize, we try to give back. So with our clients, for example, the last 2 months, we gave our clients at least $20 in vouchers to use at South Street Diner. So here's a piece of paper, go use it at South Street Diner, take your family out for breakfast or coffee or whatever, and when South Street Diner gets these vouchers, I go and say, hey, how many vouchers do you have? Here's a check, let me take the vouchers. That way, if any unused vouchers are in your top drawer, or in your wallet, or you lost them, whatever, it's no money from us. We haven't lost any money. It's not like a gift card that we go buy. We're going to be doing that with Westborough House of Pizza next. We've done it with Yulman's.
The farm stands are coming too
yeah.
later in the year. We give vouchers for farm stands at Harvey's, Bavarians, and Norse, and it's a voucher to go in and get fresh produce. That starts, I think, in June?
It's July and
July,
August.
yeah.
So every time somebody comes to the food pantry, here's a $10 voucher, but yet again, it's a piece of paper, and it has no value until they go spend it. So whoever, I think Phil and Donna Kittredge figured that one out, and it just doesn't, the money doesn't leave our checking account until it's spent.
It's our most popular voucher by far, and people come sometimes for that.
And we're hoping to work that in at the at the farmer's market also. Any questions?
I have one more question. How often do you do food drives?
We will do them anytime anybody wants to do them. As a entity, we don't start them, I guess. Amber Bach is great in having the schools do them for us. Sometimes the different sporting teams do it. Nothing really orchestrated other than Mr. WHS is a great fundraiser for us. They've really been nice to us over the years. So as far as a food drive,
Yeah.
anybody want to have one, we'd love to.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Am I on? That's what I'm thinking about, having some local businesses band together and sort of do something like that with you.
That,
We'll follow up with you guys.
like I said, we like food and we like money. The food is great because it's, we can go buy a pallet of green beans.
Yeah.
But we like the different kinds of vegetables, for example. Cereal. Okay, we can go get Cheerios, but not everybody likes Cheerios. So when the donations come in, people tend to buy their favorite. And so it gives our clients a choice.
Yeah, that's great.
So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Come see us, come visit us anytime you want to see us. I don't know if I can go back to that one. I don't think I can.
Thanks for all your work.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next up is Mark, talking about the EDC awards.
And just quickly, I got to visit them on one of their open days, and that place is very busy. There's people humming all over the place, the clients as well as the people volunteering. So definitely check it out if you haven't been down there, and help them out if you can. All right, so let's start from the beginning. We're going to move on from Karen. All right. So the EDC 2023 Year in Review Awards are coming up. They're right upon us, actually. I can't believe it's already April 2nd. We're up to already today. They're going to be on April 26th, I apologize, at the Youth for Venues at 45 Oak Street in Westborough. If anyone doesn't know where it is, it used to be, to most people that came here from remember, it used to be the JCC right next to Westborough Tennis and Swim. It's exciting to be in there. My main reason for being in there is a lot bigger of a venue than across the street. As nice as across the street was, this is going to allow us to open this up to a lot more people, a lot more businesses, small businesses, big businesses, more people to come in. And I think it's a great networking event and a great time for us to show off what we do all year, the hard work we put in, and the hard work our businesses put in to make where we are such a good place. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, so we're basically going to go with the same routine that we've done in the past. We're going to have check-in beginning at 7:30 with some networking, and the event beginning at 8. Really what I need help with, I know Karen has been awesome at arranging most of you guys, if not everyone, to get into Westborough TV in the next couple days, or maybe today even. I think a lot of you are going in to get the recordings done, because that's a really big piece of it. And the second piece that I'm going to need help with is promoting the event. You guys have the business. I've sent out, a bunch of invitations. You guys have seen the invitations. I'm happy to send them to you again, to forward them out to, colleagues, friends, someone you think that should be a business that doesn't normally come to this event that you think, oh, I met them, it'd be great for them to see what we're doing. I think for that, even this, I'm going to make sure I invite all our grant winners, even the grant recipients, all those people, to make sure they know what we're doing even from past years, because I want to see, it'd be nice to see all those people in the room. As I said before, we've given out 49 grants in the last 6 years, and I think only one of those businesses are no longer in town, and had nothing to do with the grant. It was a business, something going on personal in the person's business life. So these are really great things we do. The day of the event, things I will need help with, and I'll reach out to people individually, like a guest check-in table, just kind of welcoming people, making sure they get their name tag, they point them to where they need to go, as far as pretty simple. Todd's not here, but Sandy, I'll talk to both of you guys. Todd gives an opening speech, you give a closing speech, so we'll put together very short. Yours is about 2 minutes. I know the good thing is you're not shy, so I'm not worried about sending you out in front of. I'm not, and Todd's gotten used to it as far as that goes. And then anyone that's speaking to Westborough TV today, just understand you will be brought up when the award is given out to your particular, I think you've done it before, but anyone that's speaking at Westborough TV, the recipient, you'll be up and take pictures with the award winners as far as that goes. Unfortunately, Hannah Kane and Senator Kate Donahue both have been unable to attend. They have budget meetings, I guess, 48 hours, over the course of the weekend, so they are staying in Boston and disappeared for the weekend. So they sent their condolences, and will be sending representatives and citations and all the good stuff, but Senator Michael Moore will be attending at least, so we have someone coming at least, but not everyone we hope for. Fundraising, I think things have gone fairly well. I did send out a reminder to a few of you folks yesterday. I didn't hit everyone for fundraising, but I did bother some of you folks for fundraising, just to show you quickly. Right now, we have pledged about $1,400. Oops, I can't show that, sorry. About $1,400, where did it go? Sorry, Aiden, I screwed something up there. Can never go smooth the entire meeting. So anyway, I couldn't get that to come up, but we have $1,400 pledged right now. I have $600 in. If anyone knows someone that hasn't, that knows a business that would like to donate, or someone that, Dave, I appreciate, I got your email the last night of this morning. I don't know when that came in, but I added those. Thank you very much. And anyone knows, like I said, if we can get, my hope was to get to $2,000, because that will cover our entire cost. We had about $2,800 and change in our gift account, so we had enough money to fund the entire event already. My hope was to raise the money to fund this year's event, leaving that money there for hopefully next year's event, that we can have some money there to begin next year's planning without having to worry about fundraising immediately. So we'll go from there. And just so I show you just a basic awards rundown, 8 a.m. Todd will give a brief welcoming and everything that. The undersecretary will speak. We'll present the 5 awards. I give a little impact summary from the EDC from our accomplishments in 2023, and then Sandy takes us home at the end. Are there any questions or anything that someone has for me, or something that I missed that someone wants to remind me of?
So how much bigger is this venue? I
About
guess
250 people. So that venue over there maxed at 125 was where capacity of the old place. This is 250, so it is literally twice the size. So the nice thing about the room is it's kind of set up. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture from him. He's away right now. Afran was away to get me a picture of the room. But basically, if you imagine this room, there's a stage in the middle, and on the side there are 2 separate projection screens on the side, so we can show from both sides. And the room, I'm imagining the room being set up much kind of like this in the background, with some tables kind of in the rear, high tables for coffee and people that want to stand. So it can be a mix of people sitting and standing, and I think it'll be a nice blend for the room. So I had attended the multi-faith ceremony there for the beginning of Ramadan, and it was a really nice venue. They have great audio systems, great sound system. I think for us it's going to be a nice, and it gets us to show off a venue that a lot of businesses might not know about in town, that have another option to have a place to have a breakfast meeting or something like that. I think it's a great way for us to do that. And they've been fantastic. The venue normally goes for about $3,000 for an event like this, and they've offered it to us for a discount of $500 plus cleaning fees and things like that. So it's fairly a light lift from them, and a nice venue.
Mark, how many people have we invited?
Right now, I believe I've sent out about 187 invitations, but, I assume some of those
Yeah.
won't go, aren't gonna make it. So I'm assuming out of that, I might get 100 positives, assuming, town staff, you folks, award winners. We end up around 60 or 70 with just that number. When you get 5 award winners, their guests, plus our committee, all the town representatives, fire, police, all those good folks, we end up around 75, 80. So I figure from there, we could have room to invite, as many businesses as we need. Karen from the Chamber of Commerce is inviting the entire board this time, because normally she
Okay.
can only bring herself. So we
Right.
get to expand that guest list on that side. I've asked the 495 partnership as well to extend their invitations to a few more people, and really to our regional partners, so they can see what we're up to in town. That's really the big thing I want to do,
Great.
is make sure we get our regional partners in.
It was a good venue to kind of increase, so we're not cramped to only invite
No,
the
makes
award
sense.
winners, and it was a good.
Be nice.
Yeah,
You
so-
offered it for a reasonable price, so it
great.
made some sense.
Yeah, from reading Zach's notes from last year's event, one of the biggest things one of his biggest challenges was managing this guest list.
Right.
I guess, as he said, he got to about 80 with just the I have to invite, so now I'm down to inviting 30 or 40 people, and how do I say, yes, you can come, but you can't bring your wife, or you can't bring your business partner? It kind of becomes a real hard statement, I guess, so I'd like to make it, so please come, even last minute.
That's great.
So the agenda looks aggressive in an hour.
Yeah, well, Karen, I believe I'm speaking with Karen. We can go a little longer if we need to. I know the videos were a little shorter this time. I don't know if I went too fast. I can change this a little bit if I need to. I apologize if I went too fast, but
No, we target the videos being about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And the video is really supposed to take care of the congratulations and thank yous. In other words, we don't want, the EDC member to get up there and go on and on and on. It's all in the video. So it's, you got the award, here's why you got it. They get to say a thank you in that video. So we cue them up to say, if you'd like to thank the town for the award, this is your opportunity. That way, in earlier years, every once in a while, people get on the mic, as I'm doing right now, and talk too long.
but I can extend each of
So-
those.
Makes sense.
So-
So I think typically we'd probably stretch it to closer to 9:30 by the time you wrap up and whatnot too, so it's.
Yeah, just looking at that, if I put each one of those at 10 minutes as opposed to 5, allowing them to get up, take their pictures, and get
Yeah.
back down, that would take us into 9:15-ish in that territory, minus any other delays or potential, late starts or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that people.
Yeah, I can make
set
that
people's
adjustment.
expectations that, they may not be out,
Yep.
and leave a little room for networking maybe.
Adjust time. And then afterwards, we have the room
Yeah.
afterwards again, as always, the same as normal. So we'll have the room after for networking and open time after, so if anyone wants to stay.
You mentioned that you were going to invite the grant winners.
I've
But
been
you haven't-
inviting everyone slowly.
Have
but-
you already, you said
Yeah,
something
the
like
emails went
49
out to
grants?
everyone. The emails have gone out to everyone. I haven't heard back from anyone, but I will start, those kind of people I will follow up with individually, just because I have a little more of a personal relationship with them that I can follow up and
Sure.
ask them why they want to be here.
Sure, and so that was the grant winners and the
and-
EDC, previous
Yeah,
EDC award winners?
Previous award winners, grant winners, yes, anyone like that.
They've
to make
been
sure, Yeah,
invited.
just to make sure they know they're invited, whether they choose to come or not. Obviously I can't, but like Monroe Tractor, I've reached out to all those past recipients as far back as I can find. I can't guarantee I got everyone. At some point, maybe in the next few days, maybe I'll send out my final, when I've sent out a whole bunch more invitations to you guys, and let everyone look it over and be able to say, you missed this person, Mark, I can't believe it. And I'm sure there's a bunch of those names on that list, because it's a big list. And trying to find everyone's emails and everything can be challenging sometimes, so.
But it sounds like there is still room to add.
Absolutely.
You have an-
Because like I said, I assume if I send out 187 invitations, I'm gonna assume most of, somewhere, if I get a 60% success rate of saying yes, I'd be shocked. Even though some of those I know are yeses because it's you folks and things like that, but, I would assume that I'm probably gonna end up someplace around between 60 to 100 with what I sent out there is my honest estimate, which means we have room for plenty of guests if someone wants a partner to come from work or an extra, business associate that might not normally come to this. As I've been meeting more people like Toshiba out on the other side of Route 9, I've been meeting businesses on the other side of Route 9 and touring with different property owners recently, so I keep inviting all those people to make sure they see what's happening in town, so
Okay.
it's good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send over a couple of suggestions and, place
Anyone
them,
that
place them
someone's-
on your list wherever.
Yeah, if anyone have a suggestion, please shoot them to me. If they're on my list, they will either have gotten their email already, or I'm happy to send a separate one out to them, because, like I said, I want to be able to show off what we do. We do a lot of good work, and I want to make sure people know it. Anything else, folks?
Oh,
Yes.
so since I guess we're not meeting again before the event, are there additional assignments for folks in this room? I know in the past, like, folks have helped pick up catering, and you can always just shoot those
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna
but-
shoot that as I come closer. Some of the companies I talked to with food already have offered to do some delivery for me to help me out
Okay.
as part of the process. So that's been really nice. So I don't have to. Maybe in the morning of, there'll be a little less running around. But really, I think the day of, the biggest thing I can see so far would be I need a couple people to help me with the table, kind of welcoming people in, and then from there I will reach out to people. To do if I need other help as far as picking stuff up in the morning. But right now, most of the vendors have offered to do stuff for me, or I can stop kind of on the way through myself since I'm coming through town. I think I'm going to do Rocco's Donuts, Coffee and Pie, and I'm still poking at a couple other ones just to get kind of an arrangement from different places in town. So
Excellent. Sounds good.
Awesome, great. Oh, next on the agenda, gee, it's Mark.
it's
talking
Mark
about the
again.
Business Expo.
Business Expo. So the Business Expo is coming up again. We'll meet one more time before the Business Expo, so I'll get to bother everyone again. But basically, it's going to be hosted this year on Wednesday, May 8th, from 4 to 7 p.m. Unfortunately, it's at the Best Western in Marlborough this year because of renovations at the Doubletree. I've harassed Karen and told her, I'll come after her if it's not back here next year in Westborough, but we'll deal when that problem comes next year. She's promised me the problem is the Marlborough the Best Western is a lot larger than the Doubletree, so she says if this event goes well, I get enough people. She goes, unfortunately, my event's going to keep getting bigger, and I said, well, I can. Thank you for having a nice event, but please try to bring it back. So that's going to move here, there. So volunteers again on this one. This is setup and breakdown and some booth time and just kind of being there. As far as some of you folks, your businesses in town, you've been to this before. It's a great event. She gets up to 300 vendors coming through, a couple thousand people that come through the building. So if you have a business and want to show with her, please feel like you're free to do so. Or if you just want to work with us and sit at the booth for a couple hours, let me know if someone's truly interested. If not, what I will do is I'll make sure I send out a little volunteer list, and maybe by the next meeting, if I don't have everything covered, I'll start seeing if anyone else has some time to give me. But I just want to make sure we put this on our agenda, and I'll be sending a calendar item out to everyone later today with this on there so they at least are aware that it's happening and they're welcome to come. Any other questions about that?
All right.
Excellent.
Next one is planning, downtown development plan update. Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that. I can.
Yeah, sure. So as you all know, we're doing a downtown development plan, and we've had a scavenger hunt out that's been open, and it'll be open through the end of this week for people to go out and walk through downtown and then provide their input on different areas in terms of businesses they'd like to see, and then also the safety, pedestrian safety, things like that. So if you haven't done that yet, please get out there and do it. The input is very important. And then we have our first public meeting on April 9th. So we had these postcards printed, and it explains a little bit about what the plan will be. And this will be a really engaging first public workshop with our consultant, RKG Associates. So we would like a lot of people to attend. So please spread the word with your friends, neighbors, clients. We really appreciate it.
And that's at the Great Hall, right?
That's in the Great Hall, yes.
Awesome, great.
And there will be food, if that lures you in. So we'll have good food and, just some refreshments to provide. And then it will be pretty interactive. So you're not going to be just, staring at a screen and listening to someone talk. There'll be a brief presentation, and then you'll be going around to different workshops around the room and looking at different scenarios, looking at different maps of the downtown area. So it's going to be a really good event.
How many people have participated in the scavenger hunt? Have you had much feedback on that?
Not as many as we wanted. The last time I checked, which was last week, there were about 40 people.
Okay.
So not really enough. And I'm thinking it's the weather. You know, it has been kind of on and off, and people haven't been really wanting to walk around downtown necessarily. But, you know, I don't know if we have a nice week this week, but we'll leave it open just in case anybody wants to get out this weekend as well.
I'll mention it on Wednesday at our Rotary Club meeting and see if we can get some Rotarians to cruise around downtown.
Yeah, and you don't even have to go, you technically don't even have to physically go downtown to answer it. You can just answer it on your phone. We also have paper handouts if, you know, you're not a phone person, so you don't have to follow along that way. You can just fill it out and then drop it back off to our office, and we're happy to get it that way.
Awesome.
Jenny, how else are we advertising? Are we sending this out to like different businesses and things, like the postcards, or?
Yes, so Mark had the ambassador, I'll let him talk
The
about that.
ambassador, I've had the ambassadors help me
Okay.
through this. Peter went out to a bunch of businesses. I've been
Okay.
out personally to anyone I've seen him mention to social media. I believe Jenny's been on Westborough TV. The Community Advocate has put an article
Okay,
out.
great.
You know, so, and word of mouth. I've been to any chamber. I think Peter took it to the Civic Club and brought it out to all the Civic Club members. So
Great.
it's, you know, as many avenues as we can take, we've been trying to put it out there, I guess. It's,
Okay.
whether it's successful, I can't, you know, force people to walk around downtown yet, but we can at
Yeah.
least,
Do you have a stack of postcards?
I have some more for these
Extra?
meeting
more
ones.
of
that-
these.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, the meeting
I'll
ones,
take
I can
some.
definitely get, I can stop some over your
Yep.
store today and
Okay.
drop them off.
thanks.
Yeah, obviously, the more people we get
Yeah.
to participate,
Yeah,
the better the
definitely.
results are.
No, I see this is public meeting number 1. Do you know when?
We don't have a set date for the next
Okay.
one.
I have a conflict.
Oh, on that day. Oh, that's right, the select board meeting, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Can we do it early?
it'd be great if the future meetings
would be
didn't
awesome.
conflict with the select.
Doubtful.
Doubtful, yes.
It will be recorded for anybody that wants to, you know, watch the presentation afterwards. It'll be difficult to record, you know, the individual workstations, but we'll try to get it out there, and then, yeah, we'll have another public meeting that we'll try not to conflict with another meeting. Those Tuesday nights are popular.
Right. No, it's tough.
Well, it's good. We get a visual at least of what it is versus a meeting, like you said, sitting and just watching something and very interactive, so.
Yes,
That's very,
yep,
very
that's
cool.
the goal.
Any other questions about that? No? All right, great. Next on the agenda is Mr. Fred with Community Development Update.
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, we continue to be kind of slow on the commercial industrial side, so there's not a real lot of progress in that front. We do have, I will say though, that Boston Lawnmower has broken ground for their facility. It's on the corner of Oak and Bridle, so they'll have a new store, hopefully in the next few months. That's about all we have going.
Is that it for today?
Yeah, that's it.
This is a quick meeting.
What's
Yeah.
up with Wayback? Any news on that?
Yes, Wayback is, they've been slow in the process, but they finally, I think, jumped their biggest hurdle, which was the installation of their hood. They had some problems with the physical makeup of the store. So it's funny you say this, so a couple days ago, I actually got some documentation that hopefully they'll proceed on that.
Great.
So we'll be eating burgers hopefully soon.
Any comments on Fred's report? All right, great. Okay, so, Mark, we're on the ED schedule for 2024.
Yeah, so I know we're moving along pretty quick today, so I just wanted to cover quickly, as we look at 2024, I just wanted to kind of look at our dates for the rest of the year. We have 3 grant periods coming up. The next one, currently I have 5 applications already in hand for the May application, which is, you know, my 6 months or 8 months, this is unheard of. Usually I'm getting them the day before they're due. So to have them already in my possession at this time is fantastic. The biggest hurdles we're going to have is, obviously, as we always do, is July and September. Those things fall right around. I don't know when Labor Day is this year, so I didn't look that far ahead, but we're probably going to move the July meeting, I would assume, to the 9th, but that's something I'll let everyone decide. But I just wanted to let everyone look at things to make sure they see that these are the meetings that are coming up and what we might need to look at if there's anything that's hugely a problem for you.
Yeah, I apologize too, if I may. The town meeting did approve the grant funding
Oh, yeah.
for next year, just if anybody wasn't aware of that, so that was great. No, there were no questions, so it kind of flew through.
And just to top on that, we were the only committee, I think, to actually, we did cut our request down to
Yeah,
53,000
change.
something and change, whatever it was, where everyone else stayed. Instead of asking for $60,000 again to replenish the fund completely, we replenished it to the $60,000. So once again, it was only a $6,000 or $7,000 difference, but you know, I think being fiscally responsible to the town is an important part of what we do. So thank you very much for that. Whoever suggested that last time was a great suggestion. I think it made us look, you know, in that meeting where every penny was looked at very closely. We were one of the few people, I think, that
Yeah,
took
Christie
that
has her hands up.
proactively. Oh, Christy, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Christy, you want to say something?
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can't
Can't
hear
hear you.
Mark can hear me. Or is there?
We can't hear her.
Aiden?
Can't hear you.
Can you do something about it?
It's working now. While we're waiting for Christy, can I just ask a question, which was, for the grant cycle, because I haven't been through it before, come May, do we get something ahead of time?
Yeah, so
Like
generally,
we,
yeah.
As the committee, so we don't walk into that meeting cold? How does that
Yeah,
work?
so usually what I'll do, about a week and a half before, I meet with Fred and Jonathan downstairs, Steinberg, to review the applications, make sure they're in good standing with the town financially, physically, they have no outstanding permits or anything like that. Once they're approved, then I can send, usually about a week before, I send everything out to you guys with their full application, the rubric scoring sheet. And what I do with that is share a whole file that you guys can go through, and people can either look at the rubric by itself, or they can dig through the entire application if they would rather see some more detail. So I try and make it as transparent as I can.
Yeah, let me clarify that a little bit. So the three of us just review it for completeness. We don't make any decisions on, you know, whether it has any merit, really. It's just basically for completeness. So when it comes to the board, you don't have to hopefully go back and ask a million questions.
Great, thank you.
Do you want, Christy, do you have?
Is it working now, Christy?
If you're not.
No.
Oh, Aiden might be.
If no one's trying to fix it, then it's not going to
I
get
have a
fixed.
question on the August
Right?
6th date, to
Like-
have that as a grant.
Yes.
Do you think we should move that to the September date after Labor Day, just given?
I went off of what was written in the grant initially, was the periods were set on a 3-month staggering. I mean, if something in the committee wanted to talk about moving those, I have no issue moving those, or moving one. Last year, we moved them because of the position being open. They got bumped a month because of Zach not being in the position, so we ended up doing September last year anyway. So I don't see, there's no reason we couldn't move it forward. I would just have to reword the application to make sure the applicants understood when the grant periods came. I don't think that would be too much of an issue.
That's just a suggestion.
I actually think that's a good idea, though. I mean, a lot of people are away that second week in August.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do to help here, Aiden, or is it? I wonder if
Okay.
Just a test, can you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we can hear you because Aiden opened the door.
Yeah.
But Christy
right.
can try to talk and we can listen that way. Christy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Aiden, of
Yes.
course. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just had, well, I guess I just wanted to say that no other committee put forward an article, so there would be no other reductions at town meeting. So I just wanted to make that clear related to the regularly recurring articles. And then I also just wanted to throw out there that the community chorus is looking for space, storage space for their costumes and some of their sets, because they are moving out, they need to move out of the Harvey building by the end of the summer. So if anybody is aware of any businesses that might have space that they want to partner with Community Chorus, we are looking for space with them.
Have you approached Mark at Mark's Moving and Storage? they might be open to that.
I think they're looking for donated space.
Okay, you may not.
Okay. All right, so do you want to talk about the EDC elections?
Yep, and the last thing was elections and appointments. So just so everyone sees, I just want to keep everyone up to date. Karen came in with a 2-year appointment, I believe. If everything stayed as normal, I believe we were filling these spots to make sure we were staggering all our positions, so we never lost anyone at the same time. So Karen, you taking what would have been my spot, you have a 2-year appointment as opposed to a 3-year appointment, I believe.
Right, well, I think it's through the end of June
Through
of
the end
next year.
June of next year, okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So June 25, yeah, so, sorry, I might not have updated the years, but it's, yeah, till the June of 2025. So coming up, the point of, what I was saying, the point coming in June of this year, Scott, you come up for reappointment as well as Todd. And then the other part is, we have elections that will happen at our next meeting, where we have a chair and vice chair that have to be nominated. You know, just to think about if anyone has not stepped up or looking to step up and take a new role. Todd's been the chair for 3 years. I would love to see him stay and be chair for another year, but you know, maybe he might look to step down and do something else, so I want to let him make that decision. So I want to open that up to anyone that's interested. If you have questions on what the position entails, please reach out to me directly. The nice thing about having me is I tend to take care of a lot of your agendas and things like that, so a lot of the administrative side, unlike some committees, I take a lot of that burden off your shoulders, so it's not a huge lift, but I do bother you through the course of the month a few times with questions and making sure agendas are right and things are coming up. So that's really what I ask of you. It's not a huge lift, but if someone's looking to do it, I'd be happy to talk to anyone interested in doing so. And then I don't know, since Christy's having a hard time talking, I don't know if I want to pull her into this, but as far as reappointments go, if Scott were to reapply, is that something that he has to reapply, or is that something that automatically happens? He would have to reapply? Okay, so we can talk about that, Scott, at some point in time if you're interested in continuing. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
Can you talk about the ambassadors, the ambassador committee?
The ambassador committee, yes. Well, I have two. Yes, I do. So I was looking behind me to see who was here. So ambassadors, we've been trying to grow it out a little bit. We have Peter and Maureen are both here. I've reached out to both of them through a couple projects now to have some help, even just connecting with businesses and just connecting with the people they know. The nice thing about both of them is these two at least, and Bonnie as well. Bonnie Sullivan, I'm not sure if she's probably not online, but she's been a huge help with things. And really just kind of getting our word out. They're an extra set of hands for me, not necessarily to go knock on doors, but sometimes just to continue going to their everyday organizations and just let them know even simple things like we're doing a downtown scavenger hunt, we're doing this, whatever's happening next, and we're going to continue to lean on them. And as we come into the awards breakfast, I will ask if obviously they're invited, and I'd love them to participate and be part of it, because as we go forward, that's my hope. And we also have Curtis and Adam Boyce, I'm still working. They're a little hard to get a hold of. Curtis has a B&I group, so he watches our meetings after the fact on Tuesday mornings. And Adam hasn't come to any of the meetings yet, but he says he follows along. So we'll keep up with them. So
And that's Curtis Bramley.
Yeah, Curtis Bramley, yes. So part of the Rotary as well. So any other questions or anything from there?
Any other business?
I have something. I'd like to see if, and tell me if anyone else is interested in this, seeing if we can get a subcommittee or small group together to sort of kind of solidify the process for the awards every year, the annual awards. I've been approached by different businesses that just have questions about how we do it, what the rubric is, and I'd like to spend some time working on that a little bit so we can be a little more transparent with that process, and I think that would be something that would be helpful for us as a committee to do, so that we have a little bit. The categories, we change them a lot, and
Yep.
I'd like to spend some time talking about that, I guess.
Makes sense.
No, I think that's a good idea. I would suggest that it's not a quorum. So maybe 3 or 4 individuals from this board, just sort of,
Okay, that's good.
that way, you're not setting agendas and
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yep,
stuff like that.
All right.
More of informal, okay.
I'd be happy to talk about that with you, Mark.
I mean, from my position,
Yeah.
I think that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the more voices I get to hear,
Sure.
sometimes I'm in a room, staring at the wall, sometimes, trying to think of names and who should I be thinking of, and, and not
Right,
everything
right.
naturally comes bubbling to the top
Yeah.
every time, unfortunately. So I'd love to, as I kind of I'm getting the concept down a little better, pulling all the notes together, so next year, hopefully, the whole process will be a little smoother,
Yeah.
starting it earlier, and all things I've put in my notes for what is next year's will involve.
Okay.
I did have something that I wanted to bring up. We have a little bit of time, and this has been an issue for a while, and I just don't know if this is the right venue. It is economic development, as far as I'm concerned. The noise level downtown is extraordinary. Mark and I have talked about this before. There's a huge amount of truck traffic, which we understand why there is. But whatever we can do to mitigate that sound, I think contributes to our, bucolic image that we're trying to push, potential for outdoor dining, people living downtown on the upper floors, all that type of stuff. At a bare minimum, I would say we need a engine brake restriction. Okay, there's really, in my opinion, no reason that a vehicle needs to be accelerating up the hill towards the rotary from the Hopkinton side and then throwing the engine brake on so everybody gets to hear it downtown. So I don't know that that's economic development. I feel from the perception of our downtown it is, but it's a bad problem that's gotten worse as far as I'm concerned. So maybe you could direct me on how we approach such a thing if we were to.
I think that's good feedback for the downtown plan that we're working on, and we could definitely include those comments in the report as something to look at. I assume you're talking about like the Jake breaks going through town.
Yeah.
I would have to look into whether we would be able to restrict that if it's a Mass DOT or a state road. There are certain restrictions that they have that we can't put in place. But we can
Right.
certainly look into that.
Yeah, I think it has to do, and we've talked about it a little bit before, on the decline, for example. I think coming in from the high school side, you're coming down a hill, that's a different story. On the Hopkinton side, you're coming up a hill. So unless you're accelerating towards the rotary, or you're overweight or whatever, you really don't need a Jake brake.
Right.
And because, as everyone knows, the exhaust comes out, 15 feet off the ground, right at the window of the homes, not the homes, the apartments that are along the top. And that's, as someone who's watched it for 25 years in a front row seat, it's obnoxious.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and if I could, I think that it extends beyond just the breaks. I mean, so, and I do think it's an economic development issue. I haven't really thought about it in that way, but like you go to have a coffee, you're outside Red Barn and you're having a coffee, and the number of trucks that go by, and it does have an impact. I mean, a lot of the trucks going to Harvey's, you can sit there, and if you're there on a hot day, you'll smell that truck for a long time after it's through. There's just a ton of traffic that goes by. And, early on, I had mentioned it like years and years ago, 20 years ago, and kind of, where 495 is right near Harvey's. And I know they're doing a lot on that 495 exchange right now, but I still don't know, like, what group would go to try to have, like, could there just be a truck on and off there? It used to be, okay, well, because of the tolls, you couldn't do that. But there's the on-off right over there. I just feel like anybody in town revisited that aspect of having some of those trucks go on-off at that exchange there. That's really just for private right now. So I don't know, Fred, if you know that, but it kind of gets to that whole idea of the amount of truck traffic in town. We want to have this nice downtown area where it's very walkable, and you can eat and walk around and shop, and it can get bad. And I think that you're right on there.
Yeah, so our consultants we're working with, they have a sub-consultant who's a traffic engineer, and they're also looking at the traffic volumes in downtown, the different types of vehicles they see, including trucks. And that'll be part of the presentation on April 9th. In the beginning, they'll just go over the existing conditions and what they found in terms of the number of vehicles and then the impact they have. And then part of their task is to evaluate if there's different routes that we could potentially have these trucks take, as opposed to going right through downtown, and ways to mitigate the issues that you're talking about. So that should come out of the report, hopefully. These are definitely legitimate concerns, so I hope you can share them on April 9th or at the scavenger hunt, too.
No, I agree with Karen. That was a pretty solid effort, though, to try and create an on-ramp there, and I believe it was DOT that shot it down. But I guess it's, you know, in our best interest to see if it can be brought up again. Not to mention the infrastructure downtown. You know, I think we all know that the downtown pipes are past their prime, and you know, when these trucks come by fully loaded and they hit the manhole covers, they just drill straight down into the infrastructure. And, you know, it's the nature of the beast. It's an old town with a transfer station, but it's, I mean, that adds up.
Christy, do you
Can I
have something?
speak to that?
Go ahead.
So we are pursuing efforts already, separate from the downtown plan, to approach the state again for that ramp. So it was DOT that blocked it last time, but we think we have some newer arguments, and it's some that align with state goals that are, you know, exist now that didn't exist previously. So
Does anybody know when last time was?
God, 15 years ago or something?
when we, yeah, it's been since I've been here, so I would say the last 10 years or so.
I believe it
Been
was
15 years.
I believe it was 2012 is the last letter I have. It was about the Harvey trucks that were going through downtown, if that's the same
Okay.
issue.
Christy, do
Yeah,
you know
so
if
10,
the
12 years ago. Yeah.
Christy, do you know if since the acquisition, if the amount of truck traffic has increased?
I don't know.
Is there any way we can get that data?
We can ask Harvey. We have a meeting with them this afternoon, so I can ask.
Thank you.
Any other comments on that? Okay, motion.
Yeah, the only other thing, I wasn't on the agenda, I just left everyone this, just so they see it. It's the stormwater utility fee that, the town meeting passed, was it, I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, I can't remember which town meeting it was. But it does come in effect on July 1st. It's for residents as well as businesses. So, you know, some of the businesses, this is, if you've got big property in town, this could be a big thing for them. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of it. Chris from DPW is going to come in next month to speak to us on this. So I just want to get this in front of everyone now so they could do their research, thinking, realize what it is. If they have questions, they can come next month and really ask Chris's questions, because I'm sure Chris is diligent in what he does and he's really good. So if they come in with the good questions, he'll find you the answers, hopefully, and we can, you know, at least be able to tell the community what's happening with it. I want to make sure people were aware of this. So, and the only other thing that I want to mention is that next week, Fred and I will be going to Foxborough Stadium to welcome Rax Rax won the silver medal for the Central Region for the Mass Econ Impact Award. So they won a statewide recognition for a silver medal for their facility, their build out, that environmentally friendly manufacturing, all the things, all the jobs they brought to town. It's a great thing for Westborough. We haven't been recognized since Olympus, so it's been a few years. So it's nice to get Westborough back on a regional stage, getting an award.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they actually competed against a lot of larger companies, too. They do a very nice job there.
That's great.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
congratulations to them, absolutely.
Laley does a great job.
All right, anything else?
think that was
No?
it.
Motion to adjourn?
Please, someone.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
technically, I think.
Oh, do you have to do a
We
roll
have
call?
to-
You have to-
We have to,
Do a
we
roll
have to
call?
go around because they're, oops.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
there we go.
just,
That's
yeah.
enough.
I guess that's gonna cover us because we
We
lost.
have a-
I guess that's that.
We have enough people in the room, so we have enough.
Yeah, okay, great. Have a great month,
Sorry
everybody.
about that, folks.
Pete, Maureen, thank you for
Thank
your
you,
service
guys.
to
No,
the
thank
committee,
you.
appreciate it.